Yo, what's cracking out there, everybody? This your boy G Wiz from Visual Audio, and I'm talking about OG Percy, man. Like, I really respect OG Percy, man. If y'all don't know who OG Percy is, he from Fort Worth, Texas. You know, I think he fought Deuce Hoover Crip, but I respect him as a man, and I respect his cripping. You feel me? I really wish that cripping in the New Jersey prison system was a lot different in the late 90s and early 2000s. Like, the Dabus, they wasn't running fades with Crips. You feel me? They wasn't running fades. You couldn't get no back to back to back fade. They was just straight jumping you from the rip. Bullpen on the tier. It didn't matter if you had a name or if you didn't have a name. They wasn't shooting no fades, and they was basically rat packing you, man. There was no politics, no structures, no politics and no structure in the New Jersey prison system. The only thing about the New Jersey prison system is that it wasn't race based. Like, if you was black, you could hang with the Puerto Rican or Mexican. If you was black, you could hang with a motherfucking If you was black, you could hang with a. My bad, I just got a text message from somebody. If you was black, you could hang with a white boy. You feel me? It wasn't race based in New Jersey. It's still not. So you can hang with whoever you want to hang with. You feel me? But when it came to gangbanging, it seemed like everybody was against the Crips, especially because the UBN, United Blood Nation, they was under the 5. You feel me? I don't think it's like that in LA where they go by a 5, except for maybe the Black P Stones. You feel me? Shout out to them. But the 5 and the 5 points with the Latin Kings. But for a long time, people thought that Crips was under the 6-point star. You feel me? Because of wrong history and information given to certain individuals in the beginning. But everybody know the 6-point star is for the folks. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. Shout out to the GDs. You know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, man, it was real hard for Crips, man. Like I said, you could be that tough or Crip that stand on business. You wasn't getting no fade. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no respect like it is it wasn't no respect levels like it is in LA County or motherfucking some South jails. You feel me? Where you could, after you run your fades, you could live on a 10 piece, you could get your canteen, It just wasn't none of that, man. It was real hard. And I want to give a shout out to the Lokes. I want to give a shout out to the Crips who helped pave the way in the beginning, who was taking on all fades, was getting jumped in the bullpens, who was going on tears and be like, look, I'm not leaving, I'm such and such, such and such, this is what it is. I want to give a shout out to them because it was very hard in the beginning for all Crips. You know what I'm saying? Even for me, I had to play my part. You feel me? Everybody had to play their part. I damn sure wasn't the toughest, damn sure wasn't the weakest, but it was just so blood dominated in the early 90s and in the late 90s and early 2000s. Like, you really, when I tell you the Bloods had the prisons and the jails on smash, niggas would go in there neutral and come home blood. Niggas would go in there neutral and just, in order for them to make canteen, they had to align themselves with the Damus. You feel me? Like, I kid you not. And I'm not disrespecting nobody, not disrespecting no Damus, because a lot of my friends are blood. You know what I'm saying? But this is just facts. You was not getting no fair ones. You wasn't getting no. You might get a fair one, but it eventually come around and you getting jumped. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you perform well. So it was just real weird. There was no politics. Like, you could just jump on a Crip and nothing would happen. But, there was no politics. There was no structure. There's no violations. Like you hear OG Percy talking. It was just really hard. I don't know how it is like that today, because a lot of Crips and Bloods, they get along, especially on the streets now. Like, a lot of Crips and Bloods, they putting in work together. It ain't even about Crip and Blood no more. It's just cliques. Where you from, who you fuck with. You know what I'm saying? So it's very different now as opposed to how it was when I was coming up. You know what I'm saying? So the jail system, the prison systems, you know, everybody might be getting along now. I don't know. It might be one love. You feel me? Like at other jails where everybody just be like, you know, getting along, leave that shit on the street, and you know what I mean? You get along in here, you know. So it might be like that now. But when I was coming up, it was no structure, none of that shit like how OG Percy was talking. You feel me? And it was only one Crip that I not it. It was probably a lot of Crips moving, probably like a few Crips moving like that. But the one Crip that stood out, one of my homies that stood out, that was moving like OG Percy, was Purple Heart. You know what I'm saying? Purple Heart from Trenton, New Jersey. So he was really moving like OG Percy. And when you move like that, you make a lot of enemies amongst Crips because you ruffling feathers, you implementing laws, you standing on business, and now niggas got a Crip. You feel me? When a Crip like OG Percy and a Crip like Purple Heart come around, now you got a Crip. And a lot of niggas ain't want a Crip. So, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to OG Percy and, you know, shout out to OG Purple Heart, man. Peace.
So wait, my nigga, now I'm straight. I took 20 racks and bought some real estate. No high school